Hi there, folks. It's ZZ Lee, aka Professor B. Van Lord. I'm coming to you from Sparkill, New York, the site of Lee's Bees Apiary. We're gonna have a lot of snark and a little bit of bee today, so let's get down with it. Rock and roll, baby.
So now, having done a bunch of literally chicken shit things, we can get to the bees. This is the bee shed, a luxury environment indeed, considering that I used to do all of this out of my crappy garage. The bee shed has a full stock of equipment with which to handle, wrangle, rustle, and manipulate your bees, plus woodworking equipment, foundation. That's what bees build all their comb on. Supers, which is what we stick out there on top of the beehives for them to build comb on, and all kinds of tools, because men love tools. And in here we have a super that's got foundation put in it. There it is. It's pre-printed with little wax cells so that the bees will be encouraged to build honeycomb or brood comb. And here's a frame that doesn't have any foundation in it. And this is foundation. It's not the Gurdjieff foundation, but it is a foundation of sorts. So anyway, here's the bee shed from another point of view, because I know that you just didn't see enough of it from the first angle. And these are the next piece of equipment that we're going to fiddle around with. They're smokers. And what does that mean? That means that they've got fire in them, and men love fire, as you know. So we're gonna stuff this full of some wood chips and make it burn. By the way, this is a really expensive, super professional smoker. It's not actually as good as the less professional smokers because the handle came off, and this is typical artisanal crap that home farmers and beekeepers do. You fix stuff by yourself and then you just deal with it. So $60 later, I've got a piece of crap, but it does work, so who's gonna complain? That doesn't have enough wood chips on it, so we're gonna have to do something about that. We're gonna have to fill her up. Okay, so the fairies have filled the smoker with wood chips, and we've got a lighter to get the fire, which is our favorite, and a hive tool, and this little tool is the most essential piece of beekeeping equipment you can think up, because you use that to pry open the hive and look in it. And so now you may ask yourself, oops, we're dropping everything here. How do you decide what to do up here? Well, you open up the hives one by one and look at them. Sometimes you look at all of them. Sometimes you look at some of them. I haven't been up here in 3 or 4 days, and today my objective is to see just how much honey they've been putting up over the last couple of days, maybe 3 days. And in case you were wondering whether they're putting up honey, well, here it is. It's before 8 a.m. and they're pretty busy. There's lots of activity. So the girls are out getting honey, and they're coming back with honey already. You can see that, so they got up early. And we're gonna take a look in the tops of that hive and several other hives to see how much honey, if any, they put up over the last 3 days. There will be some, and we'll find out. I am the god of hellfire, and I bring you fire. Ba-da-da. Some of you will recognize that song. Anyway, we're gonna let it burn for a little while. Let her get crispy and toasty and all fired up, and then we're gonna go in and look inside the hives. Okay, so we're puffing her up. It's a giant fire puffer a la The Torture Never Stops, which is a Frank Zappa song. You can see that we're in the rock music theme song phase of the video today. yeah, that's some smoke. Okay, so I don't really need this much smoke, but I'm doing it out of sheer prudence because bees can get pissed off, and there's a lot of bees in some of these hives. So we're gonna take the top of this hive off. Here, look, like Hollywood effects. Whoa, whoa. Off comes the top. Beehives come with a lid. Look at that. So we're gonna spray some smoke on them. Climb up here where it gets dicey yet. So there's girls at the top of the hive. They probably haven't done too much building comb in here, but we're gonna find out. But first, we smoke them up. We get them to calm down. We don't know why. There's lots of theories about it, but smoke gets bees to calm down. They chill when they get smoke on them. And we want them to be chill. Okay, so now we open this lid. I can tell from the sound that it makes that there's not much honey in this super. They haven't really started building comb here. Okay, so that super's not particularly interesting. This one's a little more interesting. It's definitely got honey in it, but they're not that excited right now. And they've been building comb. So let's take a few frames out so we can see just what's going on in here, at the risk of getting them pissed off. Okay, so outer frames in hives typically don't have that much honey in them until the last stages of build, but they're building comb on that, which means that they're well along. Okay, so that's the outside frame. Here's the next one in. Guess what? It's heavy. It's got honey. And they've capped some of the honey, so that's pretty good. All right, that's serious. And, Daddy's gotta fiddle with this frame. The best way to get a frame out is to twist it like that. Just kind of do the old Twistosaurus Rex there. And then you can hopefully pull the sucker up, although when they're filled with honey, and this one pretty much, it's close to being completely full. You see that one? That's completely capped. That's a full frame of honey, probably 5 to 7 pounds of honey. That's fully capped. That is a classic frame. Now I can tell you something, the super underneath this, and you can see it there, that's completely filled with honey. So that's about 35 pounds in the yellow super, and my guess is that there's around 10 to 15 pounds in this super, so that's about 50 pounds of honey in that hive. And since it's a brand new hive that we only put in at the beginning of this year, 50 pounds of honey ain't bad, folks. It's business. And we're gonna put the lid back on now. So we know what's going on in there, but we also know from that, and I'm gonna explain this. We know from inspecting this hive that it's a pretty okay honey flow, but it's not crazy massive, because if it was, that top super would have been packed. So now we're going to end up taking a look at the next hive, another one of the new hives. We'll see whether they're further along, not as far along, blah, blah, blah. Now I'll tell you what, this also has 3 supers. That's a queen separator. The queen separator keeps the queen from getting into these supers because her body is larger than that screen. The workers can get in here, and if you take a look at this top super, you're going to see that it's actually got more action than the other one did. That's very promising. It probably means that they have 2 full supers and that they're working, maybe they're working, to put honey in this super. Let's see if they're building any comb here. They aren't really, but they're thinking about building comb, and that's what we want them to do, is to at least think about it. So they're getting ready there. And there's bees on top of the iPhone. Oh my goodness. Okay, so pretty much probably has another 15 pounds of honey in it. No, sorry, 50 pounds of honey in it. That's a ballpark. It could have more. Okay, this is a hive that wintered over. I have a queen separator on it, but only for the top super, but they're very busy up here. That's a good sign. There's lots of bees at the top, and when you're a beekeeper, if you open up the top of a hive, in a healthy hive that's about the right size, you should see a lot of bees like that. I'll tell you what, when I open this hive, listen to the sound, if I can get it. That's a good sound. You hear that thump? That means there's more rather than less honey in this hive. That's a good noise. When there's less honey in the hive, the sound is higher pitched. So even human beings can use vibrations. Even human beings use vibrations to know what's going on. Yesterday I was at the dentist, and it was very cool. When she was using the drill on my tooth, it went up and down in pitch on the tooth while she was grinding it in. So it was a musical instrument. But anyway, this is the magic moment. We're going to see how much honey there is in this. It may not be a ton, but this hive is a little hard to get off. And we're going to see if we can show you propolis here. That stuff right there, that brownish looking stuff, well, guess what? That is propolis. That's tree resin, and the bees, as you can see, are very clever about putting tree resin all the way around the top of the hive because they want it to be sealed up. And in here, let's see. Well, it sounded good, but I'm not seeing that much honey in there. There's a little bit. Yeah, they got honey in there, you can see. Here, I'll pull a frame out to slake your thirst for visuals. But there's some honey in here. I wouldn't say there's a lot, but the fact that the sound was different means that they've got some, because the minute the pitch of the hive changes, getting some pissed off bees here, folks. They don't like me doing this. No, no, no. Okay, here we go, gang. So what's wonderful about that, aside from the fact that it's a full frame of honey, beautifully closed well, you see how light the color on that is? That's probably basswood honey, and basswood honey is the holy grail. There's not too much basswood honey in here, but that purple super probably has about 35 pounds of honey in it. I don't think that this video would really be complete without showing you what it's like in the middle of the day when activity is high. Look, there's a drone bee. I think I got the drone bee. You see, they're already attacking me. Not happy. Not happy, these bees. They don't like me. So there's a lot of orientation flight behavior going on around here. The bees are swarming around in a large cloud. It's typical traffic. You see the bees shooting out in small clusters, and you see them pouring in large groups. There are thousands of bees entering and leaving the hive at one time here. Here's the view from the hive. Just pretend that you're in front of the hive. There you go. That's what you're going to see. I am now surrounded by a large cloud of very angry bees, and I think we're going to shut it down there for now.